Okay, I know with some reviews, some people say like, "Oh, yes, I want to read the Gideon, the ninth book, and everything." Well, the opening part to it has lesbian necromancers explore a haunted Gothic palace in space. Charles Stross. So basically, the introductory review quote on there pretty much will tell you the basics of that. Um, and I'm looking at the sample here. Let's see. In the myriadic year of our Lord, the 10,000th year of the King Undying, the kindly Prince of Death, dash. Gideon Nav packed her sword, her shoes, and her dirty magazines, and she escaped from the house of the ninth. So basically, the writer decided, like, yes, my character has perverted tendencies right off the bat. See, look at the dirty magazines. I guess that's one way you can establish a character. I'll continue on here. She didn't run. Gideon never ran unless she had to. Oh, sloth. Got it. In the absolute darkness before dawn, she brushed her teeth without concern and splashed her face with water, and even went as far to sweep the dust off the floor of her cell. She shook out her big black church robe and hung it on from the hook. Having done this every day for over a decade, she no longer needed light to do it by. And this late in the equinox, no light would make it here for months. Case in point, everyone, this is the reason why I even read out loud to myself when I'm doing Uplift Protocol, because sometimes some sentences might seem great on paper, but if you're reading them out loud, you just realize, like, dang, this is a little bit awkward. To continue on, in any case, you could tell the season by how hard the heating vents were creaking. She dressed herself from head to toe in polymer and synthetic weave. She combed her hair, then Gideon whistled through her teeth as she unlocked her security cuff and arranged it and its stolen key considerately on her pillow like a chocolate in a fancy hotel. I'm gonna tell you right now, like, that's why I didn't open Uplift Protocol like this. I opened it up with like a little bit of a mystery that wasn't even. And with Talir, he's not a main person, like a main character. But I wanted to open up with a hook that had a little bit of action, a little bit of mystery. This is just how you open up a book in the most mundane way possible. I guess I could just do these as like, I guess I could put it in mini rants, but more, it's gonna be more like maybe just my preferences as a reader. But this is what caused the Mundane Manifesto to kick my love of reading into the dirt for a while. This basic setup, this opening here, just tells us the character loves dirty magazines and cleans herself up every day in the most mundane way possible. I guess I'll continue a little bit more. Okay, leaving her cell and swinging her pack over one shoulder, she took the time to walk down 5 flights to her mother's nameless catacomb niche. Or niche, or something like that. Niche, yeah, it's Florida woman murdering the English language. More news at 11. This was pure sentiment, as her mother hadn't been there since Gideon was little and would never go back to it now. Then came the long hike up 22 flights on the way. Then came the long hike up 22 flights the back way. Not one light not one light that's not revealing, that's relieving. Okay, not one light relieving the greasy dark. Heading up to the split off shaft and the pit where her ride would arrive. The shuttle was due in 2 hours. Reading it out loud really does, again, let you know how awkward this is. Sometimes if you're reading stuff in your head, it doesn't sound as awkward, but yeah. Speaking out loud will help clean up prose, at least as far as I'm concerned. I'm so glad Mr. Vogel said that, like, you mentioned, like, yes, read everything out loud, do it. It'll help. And yes, it personally has helped me. Alright, and then let's to continue for this next paragraph. Out here, you had an unimpeded view up to the pocket of ninth sky. It was soupy white, because I would have put an A there. But yes, to repeat, it was soupy white where the atmosphere was pumped in thickest, and thin and navy where it wasn't. The bright bead of Dominicus winked benignly down from the mouth of the long vertical tunnel. In the dark, she made an opening amble of the field perimeter, or the field's perimeter. She pressed her hands up against. She pressed her hands up hard against the cold and oily rock of the cave walls. Once this was done, she spent a long time methodically kicking apart every single innocuous, yeah, there we go, innocuous drift and hummock of dirt and rock that had been left on the worn floor of the landing field. She dug the shabby steel toe of her boot into the hard-packed floor, but satisfied with the sheer improbability of anyone digging through it, left it alone. Not an inch of that huge empty space did Gideon leave unchecked as the generator lights grumbled to half-hearted life. She checked it twice by sight. She climbed up the wire-meshed frames of the floodlights and checked them too, blinded by the glare, feeling blindly behind the metal housing, grimly comforted by what she didn't find. She parked herself on one of the destroyed humps of rubble in the dead center. And that in this case, center is spelled with Centre. The lamps made lackluster any real light. They explosively birthed malformed shadow all around. The shades of the ninth were deep and shifty. They were bruise-colored and cold. In these surroundings, Gideon rewarded herself with a little plastic bag of porridge. It tastes generously gray and horrible. And that's it for me for now. Like, I can only read so much of this, even though it's a sample. Um, um, yeah. Don't open with like a mundane setup like this. If you're gonna have like a different setting altogether, try to, I guess, engage the reader with the mystery or the mystique of the setting, not your character just randomly doing stuff in a landing field before the main story starts. Like, how is that supposed to bring the reader in? You know, where's the hook? Genuinely, where is the hook to this thing? I'll see you guys later.